That's tomorrow. That's it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We need to stay cut off this chaos.
All right, so obviously not very happy that that happened to him, but it just showcases this, whether we're an individual or whether we're a company, we need to understand that the microphone in life is now always on. We can't have a personality that Monday through Friday, we're the best accountant in the world, very pensive, very tidy, and on the weekend go bananas and party it up. We used to be able to do that, but now we have to live our lives as if it all will be exposed online. Whether you're an individual or whether you're in a business, it's just something, whether we like it or don't like it, the world has changed, and this is the world that we live in. So now let's take a look at some companies that are doing things well within social media. So who's doing it, who's listening, who's interacting, who's reacting, and who's selling?
The way I am
Alright, sorry that I didn't translate that one into Portuguese, but would you guys find it helpful by clapping? I guess if you could clap if I translate it into Portuguese and put it on YouTube? Okay, so we'll definitely do that the next week. The other important thing is I know that what's going to be great in 6 months from now is that we'll do one that's specific for Brazil, because we'll be able to take examples from all of you in the audience on the success that you've shown within social media and put it in a video just for Brazil specifically. So that'd be nice. Now I show that video because what does it showcase? It showcases that you can get a return on investment for business-to-business companies, business-to-consumer companies, charities, pharmaceutical companies, government with Obama. So no matter what you're doing, you can use social media to help your cause. Now one thing that you saw in there is that when people ask me, what's the return on investment of social media, you can track it, as we've shown, but if you only look at that, how we've always tracked regular media, you're doing yourself a gigantic disservice. It's really only about 10% of what social media is all about. Social media is really about that engagement with the customer. And that's why you saw the one statistic that showed they reviewed a bunch of companies for a year on their actual revenue, just the total revenue. And those companies that were engaged with social media, you saw on the chart, 16% increase in revenue. Those that weren't engaged in social media, negative 7%. So again, you can look at a hard, quick return on investment, but that's only 10% of the entire story. And this stuff is difficult to do. It's not easy. If it were easy, then everybody would be doing it already. But if you think about offline relationships, those are hard. It takes a lot of work to have relationships with friends and colleagues. Same's true in social media. But that's a beautiful thing. Because when things are hard, you can stand out by doing stuff like this to sell. So it's a great thing, it's a great world. So let's show some examples of people that are doing this well. And before I do that, real quick, there's a quote in there. When people ask me about the ROI of social media, I ask them, that's like asking me what's the return on investment of my telephone. And what I mean by that is that if someone called into your company and asked, are you open from 9 to 5? And do you still sell this product? And can I get it this week? You'd answer those questions on the phone and you'd hang up the phone. You didn't complete a sale. So if your CEO was standing there, it wouldn't be smart for him to go, you didn't complete a sale, let's get rid of the telephone. Yet sometimes we look at social media, that's how we want to track things. Oh, you didn't immediately get a sale, it must not work. But it does work if you give it time and develop those relationships. So who's showing us how to use it? So McDonald's, I love this quote, our head of social media is the customer. And that's what it's really all about. This is a long quote, but what this is saying from Coca-Cola is essentially, we're no longer going to develop microsites. This is from Europe. We're no longer going to develop microsites. We're going to send them to where they already are. So fish where the fish are. If they're already on Facebook, let's send them to Facebook. If they're already on YouTube, let's send them there. Let's not develop our own little microsite and try to send them there. And that's what we've done for the last 20 years, develop all these microsites. So who's doing things kind of cool and well? Estee Lauder, what they decided to do is they saw that on social media sites, whether you're using Orkut, whether you're using Facebook, MySpace, Hi-Fi, Vivo, VKontakte, QQ, RenRen, no matter what social network site, you need a photo of yourself. And so what do as users? You go and try to find the photo where you look the sexiest, where you look really good, where you're really tan, and you have the perfect smile. But the problem is normally there's another person in that photo. Unless you're taking photos of yourself a lot, which probably not. But there's another person there, so you have to cut that person out. And if you're not very good at Photoshop, all of a sudden you have 3/4 of a face on Orchid or on Facebook. So Estee Lauder said, why don't we do this? We'll give out free makeovers. So people would come in and get a free facelift, or free, not facelift, a free makeover. And so they did, and then they took a picture of the person, and they posted it on Facebook and Orchid for them quickly, or not Orchid, but just on Facebook. And so that was a huge success, and it virally pushed out, hey, this is my photo from Estee Lauder, and now it's my Facebook photo. So they're able to actually drive traffic into stores, so offline traffic. Okay, now this guy is Gary Vaynerchuk. He's actually a social media guru. He's actually written a book called Crush It, which was a New York Times bestseller book. But in the book, he talks about what he did using social media. So in 2007, he has a small wine store. His parents' wine is a liquor store in New Jersey. And they sell $4 million worth of wine a year. So it's not big business for them at the time. But in 2007, he goes, I'm going to start making a daily video about how you can learn about wine. Because he knows a lot about wine. So I'm going to teach people about wine. So he starts this in 2007. It's called Wine Library TV. And again, the result of this is it goes from 4 million to 50 million in sales in 2 years for wine. Again, an offline product. I'm going to show you episode 1, and then I'm going to show you episode 505. Because it showcases the importance in social media to fail forward, to fail fast, and to fail better. In social media, in order to increase our ability to learn, we need to increase our ability to fail. So if we increase our failure amount, we actually increase our learning in social media. So it's important to do that quickly. You're not going to get it right the first time, and Gary shows that he didn't get it right the first time. So pay attention on the first video. You'll see that Gary's very calm, and he goes, I'm going to talk about wine. He's got a nice sweater on. Everything's organized. And then after we show that he realized that didn't work. They wanted the real Gary. They wanted Gary to be passionate. They wanted to talk about wine like someone from New Jersey would talk about wine. And so what he did is he listened, and then he reacted and changed how he did his videos. So I'm going to show you episode 1 first.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Wine Library TV. I am Gary Vaynerchuk, Director of Operations here at Wine Library at winelibrary.com, and I am very proud to launch what we think is the first video wine blog. We've been talking about doing the blog here at Wine Library for a long time.
Okay, that's what you kind of expect of a video talking about wine. Very calm. You've got a nice spittoon here. You've got 3 glasses lined up, organized. You have Gary talking in a calm voice with a nice sweater on, and you've got a nice bottle of wine here. That didn't work. People didn't want that. They could get that other places. They could already learn about wine in that way from other places. What they wanted is the Class C and Class D folks in the United States wanted to learn about wine in a different way. And so this is what Gary changed to.
TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. Say it with me, maniacs. And this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. I'm at 7% with Vedra.